9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Nines presented by at&t. I'm Malik Forte.
I'm Monte Cristo, and I'm watching Uber over here type Yog Champ in the chat.
I'm not used to using like one of these sort of surfaces, so I can't make Twitch emotes. I'm Uber though, and we're an esports talk show today. Cleverly, real smart, has 9 segments.
That's right, and I've been told that it has something to do with Cloud9, but I'm skeptical about that.
All right, we've already shot this show, as you guys have seen it before. No, it's in the can, but we're going to watch it live. We are live right now, and we're watching...
In the flesh.
Yeah, we're watching Uber mistype PogChamp. You can enjoy it too. He'll do it again. So we'll be here on the couch, and we'll break in from time to time. We will talk to you during the show. You'll get used to it. It's a bit weird, a little bit pre-taped, but we can stop it at any time. We can just stop the footage and have some fun. So how was your weekend?
Good.
Have a nice time?
Mine was good, yeah. I took a Sunday and then completely disconnected from everything, so it's good to take a cleanse. Yeah.
We worked, didn't we, this weekend?
We did. I was on the desk at Overwatch.
And then yesterday I played a Game of Thrones board game against Monty and got crushed. The Lannisters had too many debts to repay.
I mean, to be fair, I wasn't trying to crush you. He was just repeatedly, I was playing the Greyjoys, and he was repeatedly trying to take River Run, and I just sat there and was turtling. I never attacked him. He foolishly sacrificed his armies in an attempt to take my
It's right next to Laddersport. It was on my doorstep.
But wouldn't the objective of Game of Thrones be to crush Europe?
Yes. I was working on some other fronts, though. I had to deal with Dola, who was playing the Starks to the north, so I was just holding my stronghold at River Run. But he just kept, you know...
was just thinking his nose the whole game.
He could have fought Mr. X, who was playing Baratheon, on the different front, while I was ignoring him and just holding on to my current territories. But he decided to basically suicide into my castle instead. That aside, though, Game of Thrones board game. Coming up on the show, we're talking about the Fortnite World Cup, our top esports games of all time. And we've got Torment of the C9 Rocket League team, fresh off making it to the semifinals of the RLCS Season 7 World Championships. It's a long...
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, and it's a long thing to say right there. Yeah. At the end of the show, he will be playing Malik in real-life Rocket League.
Controller bros.
That is pretty fun. No pixels, just
I rode dirty.
Shiny chrome.
Yeah, well, okay, let's kick the show off. Let's start the countdown with Channel 9 News.
9,
Welcome to Channel 9 News. Let's get this hot take party started, shall we? First up, qualifiers for the Fortnite World Cup concluded last week, and the $30 million high-profile tournament will be missing some of the game's top players, such as Ninja, Nick, Mercs, and Cloaks, to name a few. Popular streamer T-Fuel failed to qualify for the duos portion, but did make it for solos. So guys, how badly does this hurt Fortnite for not having some of the high-profile players in the World Cup, or is this just an opportunity for some new blood to make a way?
I mean, I just want Fortnite to pick what it's doing. Fortnite, please. Yeah. Are you going to be a game that is focused on promoting your streamers and entertainers? Perfectly fine. That's been working awesome for you, Fortnite. Or are you trying to be a legitimate esport where people actually have to go through qualifiers and competition in order to take part in your events? I just want you to pick one. Just pick one, please.
I mean, there is a way in which you can have some invite slots and ensure that some of your biggest names are still present. And if they get wrecked, then maybe you don't invite them back. There's a few systems that you can sort of kind of do both.
Yeah, I think for us fans, we want to see some structure, but for them, it's all about the...
Yeah.
Look, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. They've been doing what works for them, right? I don't hate that at all. I just don't want them to do 2 things at the same time.
Yeah.
It's either grassroots or you're giving the money to the big streamers. That's how it goes. Up next, though, guys, we've got to move on. It's not all about Fortnite. The Season 7 Rocket League World Championship.
All right. I want to talk more about this because I think it's really interesting, right? Because obviously, Epic hired our old boss, Nate Dancer. Ostensibly, he's the director, he's the king of the competitive scene for Rocket League and Fortnite now and whatever potential new titles we might be seeing from Epic in the future. But what I don't understand is, I really think they should just go with the streamers. I went to the Fortnite Pro-Am and it was like 60% 12-year-olds, right? These are kids. The kids don't care, I don't think, about a real competitive structure. They care about watching the streamers and YouTubers play the game. And I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there is. I think it's a great business model for them.
So wait, are you saying that you're more pro them doing
Streamers?
Okay.
I think it's better for their audience.
Okay, I get you. So you don't really, there's no need for a structured league then.
No. They're trying to give the impression though that like there is that opportunity. Like that's one thing that's kind of cool about the FGC, right? Is that everyone has a chance to get in. Like you know, everyone can compete and can make their way and make a name for themselves here. But if you're like trying to put these guys in front of kids, then you need to find a way to get them into those finals, onto the stage. So.
I mean, without it being a structured league, where's the credibility in someone like Ninja going on the cover of ESPN? Can you really consider it a sport?
Oh, he's the greatest gamer of all time. What are you talking about?
It depends. Like, do you consider WWE a sport, right? It definitely takes athleticism. It's not a true sport. I appreciate wrestling in that capacity. So I don't see a problem with it not being an actual esport as long as it's some sort of, there is a competitive element there, even if they curate stars. Because at the end of the day, here's just the reality. Oftentimes in esports, the best players are not going to be the most entertaining. That is a different skill set to be an entertaining streamer.
One or the other, man. You can't.
It's really hard to get both.
That said, I do think there still could be some structure to it. It doesn't have to be like a league or anything like that. But some way where we can know and give a little bit of credibility or a little bit of, I guess, hype to some of these events, and they don't just seem so scattered.
You can have a couple invite slots, you know what I mean? Like, which is fine. I mean,
everything feels like an invitational. Nothing really feels like we've built up to it.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious where they go. I think this is like a really critical point in like the next year. For
and
Fortnite.
Nate likes to build things.
And Nate likes to build things. So I'm looking out for him. All right, let's get back to the news.
Were this weekend, and the defending champions, our own Cloud9 team, came up just a tad short. Torment, Squishy, Muffins, and Gimmick lost in the semi-finals to the eventual champs, Renault Vitality. This might be a disappointment for this team, but do you think this is a commendable placing in general for Cloud9?
I think it is. I mean, honestly, they've been dominant, right? So, of course, they want #1. And if you're a competitor, you want to be the winner. But if you're going to losing to the champion, there's still some dignity in that, I would think, right?
And it's not only losing to the champion, it's losing to the champion in the semifinals of the event. Plus, everyone was there this weekend at the stadium in New Jersey. It looked like a sick event. So, yeah, I'm sure they're probably a little bit disappointed. I look forward to hearing from them later on this show about how that's going to be going down, but I think it's still a good shot for them, right?
Indeed.
Well, I don't know if any of you guys caught any of the broadcast, but the crowd was rowdy and they were always showing love to C9. And on top of that, though, the fans in attendance set the record for the longest wave at under 27 minutes, just under. Is this a show of esports passion? Is this exciting or is this kind of annoying?
It shows that esports fans can be civil. We're not throwing drinks into the gameplay area. It's not the Auburn and Palace Hills. People are respectable. I like that.
I mean, I thought that Golden Boy, who was leading this wave that was happening, he's already broken the record for biggest shill in the universe. So I'm surprised he needed to break the record for also running the wave.
If you don't think he would have loved any opportunity to run around a Prudential for 27 minutes.
All right, so I just mentioned the Palace at Auburn Hills, and a lot of people were probably like, what is he even talking about?
I didn't know what you're talking about.
All right, so like about 10, maybe even 20 years ago, I'm old, in the NBA, the fans actually got into a scuffle with the teams. They were throwing stuff from the crowd. They hit Ron Artest, and Ron Artest his blood was boiling because he was fighting one of the other players. He ran into the stands, and a whole fight between the teams and the players. So I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, esports fans, you'll never see an esports fan doing anything.
You don't think that Sneaky wouldn't want to take a chair to one of those LCS fans, right? Right. He probably thinks about it sometimes.
I mean, I'd take a chair to some of the T9, or not C9, the TSM fans, not the C9 fans. I love you, C9 fans.
It was in 2004. That's when that fight happened, that big brawl, 2004. But all that said, seeing the LCS fans doing that gets me hyped about our finals this year. I hope we can top that.
I also like, wait, where is it? Other side? I'm bad at this. Oh. I like Uber's face, that's all I'm gonna say. I enjoy that.
Uber, why are you making this face on my lap? Come on, bro.
I love it.
I got so many of those, man.
All right, let's get back into it.
El Nino Dorado when telling people to like do the wave, that's him to a T.
It's true, it's true. I mean, at least he got them to do it. It is a little bit of fun. So during Overwatch League's broadcast this past weekend, a limited edition Zenyatta skin was designed for the 2018 season.
Clean, dude.
MVP Jonak, New York's deadly support, had a lot of input in designing the Octozen. It looks great, by the way. We've seen winning teams receive in-game skins in other games before, like League of Legends, but this is a little bit different for an individual. Do you guys think this is a cool incentive for players and teams out there?
Yes, I know I'm playing harder if I can get my own content into a video game. I'm gonna play way harder. The only thing is I saw the Jonak skin, I love it. I love what they did with it, but where are the glasses, man?
Yeah, they're definitely defining. I actually asked about that to one of the Blizzard people, then we're like, well, it didn't happen. But I kind of like it. There are organizations that do this. I know League of Legends have like a team skin for the World Championships winners, but they all just kind of look. This year's one anyway, I think it was IG or someone like that. They all kind of looked the same, and like that there was no identifiable features about the players. So this is a skin that's very much about the individual, about the player. I love that. I love how it's enshrining history and an incredible performance from Jonak in his rookie year.
I do think that this last year's World Championship skins for League were a bit underwhelming for that reason. But historically, yeah, they all did kind of look the same. Historically, though, I think Riot's done a really good job of bringing the players in and taking the feedback about, especially like recall animations that really speak to the player's personality. So there has been, at least from Riot's
the SKT skins were amazing. I remember the
Samsung White was really sick too. But anyway, I do think that this one was definitely more personal for Jonak, obviously with his name meaning small octopus. Yeah, so that's pretty fun. All right.
I wanted to get gym shorts on that, by the way. You couldn't get gym shorts on Zenyatta.
Shame. All right. We also saw the Spitfire take on Jonak and the NYXL this past Friday. Even though London lost, they put up a fight against New York this time around, as opposed to getting 4-0'd just a few matches ago. So taking them all the way to map 5 this time, very tightly contested series. In my mind, one of the best series we've had so far this year for the Spitfire. They also defeated the Washington Justice the following day. Not so impressive. They're currently in 5th place overall. And remember, top 6 make that season playoff without having to do the play-in. So what else do you think they need to do to continue their upward trajectory?
Sombra.
More Sombra.
More Sombra.
More profit on Sombra.
I think it's definitely what hurt them against New York. CBLB's coming into his own as a Sombra player out of essentially nowhere. I think we want to keep seeing some double sniper looks from them. I think what they're 12-7 currently, so their standing is pretty decent in terms of the overall season, but there's a reason why Guard's not in the team, all right? There has to be a spot for Profit to go back to playing a bit more of that Sombra, and Birdring will need to be that superstar we knew him as before the Overwatch League was inaugurated.
Right, I just think seeing all these teams, this stage kind of go out and play what makes them comfortable, like what you said, Monty, the advice you gave to the Houston Outlaws, it's been working out, and they could definitely take a page from that book. The London Spitfire have been good at, having Profit playing Hanzo, for instance.
Yeah,
it's insane.
He's insane on that. So seeing more of that, that's when they're the most successful.
I mean, look,
should do it more.
Look at Chongqing been doing that all year, and they're loved by everybody. It was like they have like the brand of the Shanghai Dragons last year, except the difference is they're actually winning.
Yeah, and we get to see cool stuff like Fury debuting the Pharah too.
Ooh,
so
yeah,
it's been pretty fun.
Where did that come from?
I know, right? I had no idea he could do that. All right. And in quick Overwatch news, I wanted to send a big congratulations to, of course, the Florida Mayhem on their first Stage 3 win and second win overall. Monty was wrong about the Houston Outlaws. But I did say that I thought, Florida was improving as a team, and I am very excited to see where they're going now that all of their new players have arrived here in Los Angeles.
Right. No, I agree with you. When it comes to Florida, the thing I always think of is there's only one direction they can move in.
Exactly.
Only one direction. So I'm glad to see them finally getting some
I
type
do not
of
want this to be a celebration of mediocrity. Yes, they got their second win. It's almost as egregious, though, to celebrate this as giving Shanghai winning their first game an ESPY award. Don't you dare vote for that moment. We're not here to celebrate teams just finally stopping being awful.
But it was a good moment.
We're here to celebrate teams actually for their excellence as players. Come on, man. Yeah, what are you doing, bro?
I'm definitely with Uber.
I am.
I'm definitely with
Just
Uber on
playing
this
devil's advocate, all right?
Furious.
Guys, moving along, the first official Auto Chess competitive event has been announced. Now, the Auto Chess Invitational will take place in Shanghai this October and will have $1 million for the prize pool. The event will be a mix of regional qualifiers as well as a special for invitees. So, do you guys think Auto Chess and games like it have staying power as esports? the mobile games?
I'm such a normie, dude. I watched auto chess and I get the premise of it, right? I watch a lot of streamers. I watch Savige play it all the time. I really love watching his stream. But it seems the RNG based to a degree, right? Like based on like where the mobs are going to go. Like there's only a degree to how you can sort of control things. But then again, like Hearthstone was an esport.
Yeah, that's
in there as well.
Battle Royale games are in this.
Make it.
Yeah, that's where I get tripped up a little bit because, like you're saying, like Hearthstone and BR games are being played competitively, and if I have complaints about RNG, I still have the same randomness complaints about those games because even in Hearthstone, you have a 60% win rate. You're
look at the drop rates in games like Fortnite and BR. We have to accept randomness as a part of life now.
I don't have to accept it. In fact, I actively reject it. But I can't stop. Unfortunately, it is not within my power to stop other people from watching things and force them to like what I like instead. I really wish I could do that. I really wish I could do that, and it does not mean I don't try. But, if this is the world we live in, I welcome auto chess.
I'm with you. I don't get the randomness, man. People love it. People love it.
And finally, if you've been watching Twitch, and I assume you have, if you're hearing this, you probably noticed the Guardian Con charity streams to raise money for St. Jude's Hospital in the lead up to the convention. Thanks to the efforts of some of the top streamers like Giggs, Tfue, Dr. Lupo, and others, Guardian Con has surpassed their yearly goal of $3 million. During the 4 hours Dr. Lupo streamed on Sunday, almost $1 million were raised for the cause of fighting childhood cancer. It's fantastic that good can come from gaming and streaming, but is this the kind of thing that, other platforms and other industries can pick up and try and emulate, or are we just emulating something that's already been done?
I think we're just innovating, and then basically doing telethons our own way. Because back in the day, that was a thing you saw on like, public access channels, and we've kind of, co-opted it in our own way. I will say though, gamers and all these like different charity events that we do, like Extra Life and St. Jude, all of them raise a ton of money.
Even like smaller ones like Zeldathon, which I watch every time it's on, like manage to raise tons of money.
Right, Games Done Quick, that's another good one. All these, I think the gamers have some type of like idea, or maybe it's just the demographic of, the kids who like to, spend money on video games, they'll do it for this.
Also, I mean, let's be real, even the older demographic, guys in our age range, many of these people are working white-collar jobs as engineers or coders, the people who are fans of video games. So they have the money to donate oftentimes,
and that really
helps.
Tried to capitalize on with World of Tanks.
And they did. And they did.
It's a great way to see them, it's much better than seeing these donations than everyone walking around in a John Wick skin, for example. I really like that. So
I do like that.
Congratulations to everyone
involved. All those guys. Dr. Lupo always raising like tons.
He's raised multiple millions of dollars now. That's crazy. Good for him.
Good for him, indeed. Well, guys, that's it for us at Channel 9 News. Back to you, Couch Boys.
So have you guys been watching any of the Games Done Quick, the Summer Games Done Quick stream yet?
Not this year.
It just happened to start on Sunday.
Yeah, so. Sunday, right. So, but I've watched before, man. I just feel trash of games every time I watch it because they just go through so quick.
Some of them are great. I love Ocarina of Time speedruns. Yes. They're really interesting because they collect a lot of the skull toolers. The Pokemon speedruns are also very cool, especially in some of the versions that, like, if they do a run and they have to catch everything, the way that they can sort of, use glitches in the game to do that is really cool. So I love it. I always tune in. And also, if I don't want to play a game, but I kind of want to know what's in the game, I can watch it. Like Ori and the Blind Forest, I think it was. Or I just watched it. It's an awesome speedrun. I feel like I played the game.
Yeah. I was watching Prey and Titanfall 2 the other day. I'll probably watch some more when I get home tonight. So people are talking about, I don't know Hashi P in Twitch chat if I agree with you that people shouldn't be recognized for streaming for charity, that it's not newsworthy. I think it is newsworthy because the more you promote it, the more other people will donate to that charity. And I think it is important to recognize giving to nonprofits that are trying to do good causes, whether it's Doctors Without Borders or St. Jude's or whatever. So I think just by promoting it via the news, you're encouraging other people to donate to it.
Also, I don't just want to report on stuff that's like egregious and terrible.
The
mainstream media is like, you don't see feel-good news stories in there, and you're doing a freaking esports news show, man. I feel like that's a great spot to give some acknowledgement to not only the charities, but the people that...
All right, we got trolled, whatever.
It's cool to talk about positive things, all right?
Yeah, so even if you were not trolling us, we still had a good response for it.
Yes, I'm still someone can still use that response. Up next, though, is number 8 in our countdown, which means that it's time for Click Debates.
Welcome to Click Debate, sponsored by Puma. Now, on the nines, we do have a segment coming up called Loot Box Rant, but right now, those chest crates boxes with surprise items are the topic of debate. Now, is it ethical for video game companies to promote and sell in-game loot boxes? Well, last Thursday, EA gave testimony before the UK's Digital Culture, Media and Sports Committee in Parliament. EA's representative, VP of Legal and Government Affairs, Kerry Hopkins, equated loot boxes to surprise mechanics similar to mini toys of yore. Let's hear it from her.
Consider loot boxes to be an ethical feature of your games.
So what we look at as surprise mechanics, but I think it's important to look at this. So what you'll find is that this is something people enjoy. They enjoy surprises, and so it's something that's been part of toys for years, whether it's Kinder Eggs. We do think the way that we have implemented these kind of mechanics, and FIFA, of course, is our big one, our FIFA Ultimate Team and our packs, is actually quite ethical and quite fun, enjoyable to people.
Well, I hope you all had enough time to go Google Kinder Eggs, because before we get to Monty and Uber, as we do every week, we will be giving away Puma gift cards to a lucky North American viewer who is 18 or older. So all you have to do is post in Twitch chat who you think has the best argument, Monty or Uber, and with the hashtag #ClickDebate. Monty, what do you think? Are loot boxes fair or foul?
I just think they're not fun. Like, whether or not we're going to agree if they're ethical, you could make the same arguments. And in fact, the same arguments were made with collectible card games like Magic the Gathering back in the 90s about whether when you buy something that is a randomized pack, whether that should be legal or ethical. That said, I do think that when we're moving into the discussion about loot boxes, it doesn't really matter what I believe, because we already see the European Union has forced many developers to show odds in Europe on what the odds are to receive a certain level of rarity of item. And frankly, I just think they're way more boring than having what Epic Games is doing with a Battle Pass, where you pay a flat rate and you actually earn your rewards, and you know what the reward tiers are, and you know what you're going to get at the end of the Battle Pass round. So I would like to see developers move more in that direction, because I think it is inevitable that this issue comes up before the Supreme Court in America, probably sooner rather than later, and it would be smart for developers to pivot in advance of that. And I just think it's frankly just a more fun product than earning a loot box in-game where you're just going to buy it and have random cosmetics emerge.
Right. I like that you brought up Battle Passes, because it's easier to play when you see it's guaranteed. It's like encouraging me to play.
It's encouraging you to play in a different way, right? In a way where it's not just, oh, I'm so excited I got this random box. You actually feel like you earned the thing by playing the game.
Right. What about you?
Look, fundamentally, it's not unethical, especially in a world where these odds are revealed, if they have to be. It's a case in Asia quite often that they have to publicize those ratios. But these people, generally speaking, know what they're getting into when they're going and making these purchases. If a soccer mother's son is using her credit card to buy skins, then it's not the game's fault that's happening, obviously. It's control of said credit card. You have to know what you're getting into. It's the same with gambling. Gambling is not illegal. It's not fundamentally unethical, but people understand, or at least should understand, what they're getting into. I mean, gambling addiction is a problem, but so is gaming addiction. Too much of anything is not a good thing. I'm pretty libertarian about it in general. Like, you can do what you want. Some people like that. I have so many friends that love to bet on sports and esports and in all these things, and I don't really get into that. It is essentially a gamble. I would rather see what I want in the store and go and get it. Even the Battle Pass, it's like nice that I can earn it, but what if I want it right now? Maybe I'm that kind of guy. Well, I can. So you can have both. You know, and you can have loot boxes as long as people understand what they're signing up for when they go and buy one of those things that they're not guaranteed. Because the surprise...
But shouldn't you have to be a legal adult then? Because you're comparing it to actual
in that
gambling.
case, yeah, then it has to be regulated.
All right.
Absolutely. I think that's why gambling is legal, because it is regulated. Even if you show the odds, that's just the way it is. Just let me buy it if I want something. Or get little Timmy to tell his mum to buy it for him. It's fine.
There you go.
Boxes are the devil. I'm just playing. Guys, that's it for the Click Debate. Make sure to let us know what you think in the chat, and if you'd like a chance to win a Puma gift card, vote for Monty or Uber with hashtag #ClickDebate.
All right, Malik, what's your take on the whole loot box issue?
If I'm keeping it all the way 100, it's optional, right? It's not something that you're forced to do. I am very irritated by loot boxes as well. I'm with you guys on that, but I think it should be legalized. It should be perfectly fine for people to do loot boxes. I think there's worse things out there. Microtransactions in general, there are different ways that they're implemented that I don't like.
One specific way is in a certain basketball game. I won't mention the title.
Who knows
like
what
that,
a
but-
popular basketball game might
I'm
be.
pretty sure a haircut in a game costs more than what it does me in real life.
Yeah. Like legit, if you want to get a virtual haircut on your character, it's $3 to $5, depending. And then also you can pay for your character to be better than other people's characters, so it's a pay-to-win scenario.
Oh,
I
that's
hate
like
pay to
genetic
win.
modification and Gattaca. Great movie, by the way. You should see that.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff I'm against right there. Loot boxes, you can skip those.
Yeah, take or leave, in my opinion.
Yeah, people just need to be regulated a little bit. That's all.
I mean, we can see what people thought in chat too. I think most people are kind of apathetic, like you're saying, Malik. That
Libertarian about it.
you just, you can take it or leave it. To be fair, I don't think that it's mostly a problem with adults. I think the concern is for people who are not adults, and there should be some level of like regulation surrounding that. But
Right. No, I totally.
I don't think it's the greatest harm that's ever been done to society by a long shot. So I'm not really. I don't really care.
It's just so odd to me that people were mad about loot boxes before they were mad about that basketball game that put microtransactions that make you buy haircuts.
Yeah, because
it's wild to me.
Because in one of them you can get exactly what you want if you want it. With loot boxes, you might not get the thing that you wanted, and if you go in there forgetting that it's random and that your chances aren't great and you don't get it, you seem to be super unsatisfied. But I mean.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt your player experience. Like, you don't have to go up against people who have all the money and just start beating you because they say they're a better character.
That ain't it.
All right.
No, that ain't it.
Arrogant One has a good point too. Loot boxes, the only way to get a thing is bad. Let me pay a higher price to hard buy something, right?
Yeah, that's a point.
At least you can pick the things you want to buy at that point.
That's how life works, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's not how all games work, though, to be fair.
I feel you. Well, guys, all right, next up at number 7, it's time to see what's trending with our chief memeorologist, Christopher Montana.
Not me.
7,
Hello, everyone at home. I'm your chief memeorologist, Christopher Montana. And while I might be the chief meme man around these parts, Gootecks was the inspiration for the PogChamp emote, is the chief of Twitch memeorology, and meme artist Lush Sucks made this Pog-level mural that Gootecks then retweeted. That is amazing, and I love it. What's your favorite Twitch emote?
I have to go, contrary to popular belief, I would go with the tryhard emote. I really dig it.
That's a good one.
I just like Tri-Hex's face and how freaking happy and energetic he is, and it always gives me pumped.
There you go.
Oh, I don't know. I love PogChamp. I also love Gachi Base is great. But I think Gootecks got a couple chins added on there with that artistic adaptation. So
Maybe it's a more modern interpretation of Gootek. I do think that you're right. That was definitely
Fat Gootecks,
Fat
bro.
Gootecks. he had quite a few chins there. But I do think also that I'm grateful for C9 to adding my own LOL emotes to their channel right now. So
Yeah, Monty has an emote in chat.
Sneaky already has an emote of me in his channel, so eventually I'm just going to be on every Cloud9 streamer's channel as well as the official channel.
Where do your royalties come from?
They don't come from anywhere, actually.
Yo, can they spam your emote in the chat? Anybody? Anyone spam it? I
Is it C9 Monty Lul?
Oh, there it is. Nice.
He had that queued up and ready to fire, dude.
I had to. All right, let's get back into the memes. Now that it's a few years old. Anyway, if you've been playing Apex Legends, you've noticed the addition of large orangish red flyers or dragons to the game last week, and Reddit user NoInk was one of the first players to capture themselves grappling one while using Pathfinder. So what actually happens? You fly off the map.
Yeah.
Farewell.
This is not how to train your dragon, I'm afraid.
I mean, credit to trying, though.
Yeah,
But
it's creative.
It's very creative. I'm curious what they're actually going to do with these dragons in the long term. I feel like this is a slow move into something here for Apex Legends.
He should have just used a Pokeball instead. What a freaking amateur.
Right.
Just whip it out.
Can we talk about how trash it is that all the dragons carry are like blue loot? Like, I would expect something superior. These things flying around in the sky and stuff. Come on, man.
I agree.
For one of the few people still playing, I have to say something.
I mean, I love that game, but in an inevitable progression, Reddit user Kimona was actually able to land on one of the dragons. So let's check out and see what happens once you get on top of one here.
Nice.
Yeah, it ain't.
Oh, no.
Yes, very, very interesting results right there. I assume you guys aren't some of the very few people who are actually excited for Avatar 2?
Yeah.
Mate, if that's what all you have to do.
Look, man, 3D cameras.
How to train your dragon? Just use your rocket boots and land on his back. It's pretty accurate.
I mean, I would prefer if they filmed literally anything else besides Avatar 2 with 3D cameras. Well, I'm excited about the technology. I'm not excited about the garbage writing.
But Dagrons, fam.
It was Pocahontas all over again. Let's be real.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Dances with Wolves. Except even worse. So, in our recurring basketball update, Bleacher Report posted a quote of Josh Hart's. If you don't know, Josh Hart used to play for the Lakers and was recently traded to the New Orleans Pelicans. He's also a gamer and played in the Fortnite Pro-Am with Tfue. Back to the quote, Josh Hart said of his now former teammate, "When I see Kyle Kuzma on the court, I'm going to try and bust his ass. After that, we'll have a glass of wine." To which Kyle Kuzma replied, "I would never let someone that plays video games for a living beat me in basketball." Do you think if Tfue had Josh Hart as his duos partner for the qualifiers rather than Cloaks, would Tfue have made the World Cup duos portion and not just the singles?
You know, Josh Hart's actually really good at Fortnite. So I don't mean any disrespect by saying that, no, he's trash when it comes to playing professionally. There's no way.
Yeah, not even close. I mean, that's kind of like the high school response, though, isn't it? It's like, you play video games, he must be a nerd. Like, well.
But he was defensive, though. He was in defense, so,
He wrecked, I'll be honest, like, Kyle Kuzma wrecked him. It was good.
I mean, I like the fact that these basketball players are getting more exposure out of being part of a video gaming event. They see it as valuable to their brands and careers, right? Yeah. To be affiliated with these things.
Yeah, when are we going to get that? When are we going to get that extra
crossover
dues from being part of gaming events? No, they can stay to Fortnite.
Well, once you get good enough at Fortnite to go play in the Pro-Am, Uber, that's the answer.
All right, I need a lot of energy drinks.
All right.
Just pump it into me.
Or we can play basketball. Let's do celebrity basketball.
The Pro-Am basketball. There you go.
Yes.
Go the other way. Go the other way. I like it.
Stat.
I like it. I will never be doing that as a terrible basketball player myself. And finally, it's time for a return to Dr. Disrespect. He is not unbanned yet. Might be at 30 days. We'll see. We haven't had any announcements. But he did post this image to Twitter yesterday of his new Champions Club arena. If you look closely, looks like there's some VIP showers being installed. Of course, standard with a no recording, no photography allowed sign at the entrance, which I just love how he can make fun of himself. I really appreciate how he has humor about this situation.
He learned his lesson. He's making the best of it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going the extra mile with his scenes. He's made this one compliant even with California legislation. So I mean, that's really dedication to the immersion.
I agree. If anything, this showed he learned his lesson, right?
Yeah.
He's taking it very seriously.
Extremely serious.
Monetize your issues. No problem.
The return of Professor Respect.
That's right. I would love to monetize some of my problems. Actually, I pretty much already do.
You do.
But, and that's it for our online socialization. Make sure to follow the Cloud9 socials. And if you see anything, even a little meme, send it our way using hashtag #the9s. I'm your chief memeorologist, Christopher Montana. Back to my main man, Monte Cristo. Yeah, it cracks me up.
Monetize your issues.
Monetize your issues, I think, is my new motto. Thank you very much.
Just
I'm
don't let your
gonna steal that one right from you.
Just don't let your issues get out of control, but monetize them. Just monetize them at any given moment, yes.
I love it, I love it.
Is there issues that make us interesting? To be honest, it's probably my issues that the reason why I have a broadcast job. Like, I have no attention span, I'm really hyperactive.
You gotta make the imperfection look good, man.
Yeah.
That's...
Oh, yeah.
Lean into your flaws.
I trained for years in a broadcasting academy before I was an engineer, and that was kind of boring. So I did esports, but
Do the old swap.
yeah, exactly. Moving right along though, we got a good one for you here at number 6. It's our loot box rant.
6.
Our opinions are important, or at least mine is on this topic. What is it? Today in our loot box rant, there's a theme. We'll be telling you about our top esports games of all time and why. And of course, I'd like to start, and without a doubt, I say the best esports title to ever exist is StarCraft Brood War. There's a lot of reasoning behind this. First off, it's a game that didn't get patched in many, many years, over a decade. And so the best part about it is the maps were actually designed to balance the game, even when we didn't see Blizzard themselves stepping in. Had the best scene in Korea, over 40 seasons of the on-game Net Star League, as well as the MSL, to bring out the best competition. As a game, it is terrifyingly difficult. The best pro players, as you can see from their hands right there, are doing 5 to 6 things a second in what we call actions per minute, and they would frequently have over 300 APM. This is while simultaneously attempting to outsmart your opponent. And here's the thing. It was so hard to play because you could only select 12 units at a time, and you could not select multiple buildings, that effectively you could only ever really be 70, 80% good at the game, which means you always had to make sacrifice, and it made players have such distinct play styles. If they were focused on their macro, building up their economy, or their micro, getting the most value out of controlling their units. So this is a game that produced very consistent results from the top players. And unfortunately, we're never going to see a game this good again because the developers simply will not make a game this difficult to play because it would be a terrible business decision. So it will remain, I think, forever the best game of all time, highest level of competition, highest skill ceiling, and incredible entertainment for a viewer.
Oh, well, you said that might be your opinion, whatever it was, but it's the wrong opinion because the best esports gaming franchise is Counter-Strike. It's a game that is intuitive and easy for newcomers and veterans alike to understand and appreciate the nuances of. It's incredibly exciting, it's dynamic action, and it's highly tactical. It's been successful for so very long and watched by many for that reason. And of course, tournament organizer support has been fantastic. A lot of orgs outside of Valve themselves are willing to step up and pony up and put on huge events for it. The stories are fantastic. The storytelling is incredible. Some of the greatest esports broadcasters, no bias, come from Counter-Strike, at least at some point in their career. And it's always an absolute pleasure to watch. Counter-Strike is definitely the greatest esports game of all time, will continue to be for some time.
All right, I like that. I think actually both of those games have their merits. But I have to disagree and say that the best competitive esport of all time is easily Marvel versus Capcom. Now, if you've been to any fighting game event before 2015, the #1 question that you're going to hear throughout the entire day is when's Marvel? When's Marvel vs. Capcom happening? This game was a fighting game where winning at all costs was on the table. It was a game that was broken down to its core, but nobody cared because it was so much fun to watch and so much fun to play. And man, you want to talk about grassroots. You want to talk about what the FGC is. This game embodied that down to the core. No, Marvel vs. Capcom isn't selling out arenas and you don't have all these sponsorships or anything like that. But if you like soulful competitive gaming, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the pinnacle of that, without a doubt.
I thought it was Salty Bet.
Salty Bet.
Salty Bet is dope.
Salty Bet is dope.
But that's computers, though. It's not the same, not the same.
Fair enough, fair enough. And that's it for today's Loot Box Rant. Let us know in chat or the comments below if you agree that StarCraft Brood War is the best esport of all time. If you don't, nobody cares.
I can't.
All right, real quick, what are your guys' second favorite esports games of all time?
COD 4 is my second favorite. COD 4, baby. It was all right.
Unconventional pick. Unconventional pick.
Didn't have great developer support, but there were mod tools. So ProMod called G4 on PC was incredible. The scene was great, and the game was loved by many. It was played many, many years after Black Ops and such had even come out, and it was still competitive and sick. So good.
Dang, took mine. All right, so I'll think of another. Well, I played this game, Rainbow Six Vegas. Rainbow Six Vegas will be my. It was just a fun game to play. It was in a time where that golden age of MLG, and the slot machines of Calypso Casino still ringing in my head till this day. Yeah, Rainbow Six Vegas too. I'll go with that one.
All right, I actually am going to agree with Uber about Counter-Strike. I think that the legacy of that game is still going really strong. You did have a bit of a bump in the road there with Source and CGS, so that does...
I mean, that wasn't even the developers, though. That was just...
I mean, Source was the developers, let's be real. That was,
Oh, you CGS.
Oh,
no, I'm saying Source itself, Counter-Strike Source, was not a shining moment in Counter-Strike history. So that's one of the reasons why I sort of dial back on that one, but it is fun to have the legacy that Counter-Strike has, and I do think it's incredibly watchable.
We can't forget Melee. I feel like Melee has to
Melee
go
is great.
somewhere in that top conversation when it comes to esports. Melee's done a lot. Smash Brothers.
You
was-
called Melee Esports. They're coming for you now. The Melee fans are
Come on,
coming to
bro.
destroy
They know
you.
what competitive gaming.
You
for
also
the
call
dollar.
it MVC Esports, man.
I know.
The people are just raging out of control right now.
My process is esports as competitive gaming.
Look,
not
I agree.
necessarily-
I agree that those are esports. I'm just saying
Yeah.
the people who like them frequently don't disagree.
community, yeah.
They are wrong,
Yeah.
though. So they are wrong.
Totally
All right.
wrong.
Let's see what chat thought about our picks. I know a lot of people were saying Melee or Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
So there
Siege?
were some. Rainbow Six Siege is like
Siege is dope.
It's one of the games that I feel like just keeps getting better and better and better. Like
Yeah.
I really have enjoyed the progression of that.
Look, I think it's still a bit nascent for me, or a bit more recent, but I really enjoy watching it. I think it's just an incredibly well-made game, and I just love the depth that it has. Maybe like it depends on your definition. I know what Monty really enjoys is legacy, and he enjoys like enshrined history, and, that kind of stuff. For me, generally, it comes down to like how competitive it is, or how fun it is to play. So your criteria might be completely different. But we do have our winner of the Puma gift cards competition, by the way, to celebrate. It is TH Seeks Real? Oh, is it Thick Seeks Real? I think in chat. So be sure to check out our show next week for another chance to win, and let us know what Puma swag you want to pick up.
And send us selfies when you get it.
What?
Send us selfies.
Yeah, send us selfies. We want to see.
To Cloud9 on Twitter.
I know Thick
Hashtag
Seeks.
nines.
He's in my Discord. Yeah, so show us what you get.
Yeah, show us it. All right, and now it is time for C9 Spotlight. We get a sneak peek at the upcoming episode of On Cloud 9. Take a look behind the scenes as the LCS team takes a rough loss on the chin, but manages to bounce back to winning form.
5,
Sneaky, can you pass me a water?
a mage, that guy?
Yeah,
He's a mage. Yeah. So yeah, you just build up mage comp.
We're going for the mouse today.
Mage
But
Warlocks.
no on the press.
We're going for the Bruce was peaceful. This guy's got level
Home
2.
bears today.
He's still gonna work.
What if I pick silence?
I built
We're going for
the Unleash Rock.
no silence.
Niski, what you picking?
Yeah, I tried against the Warlock.
Oh no, that's void stuff, silence.
Yeah,
Alright guys,
but it's really good.
we are going to Trinity Force Ash today with the ADJ4
Okay.
and question mark profit.
Silence.
Silence.
With
Very
no
high
void
priority.
stuff.
Very high priority.
No void stuff.
PS.
Nice. Good job, Miski.
Thank you.
Wait, what is the silence spelling?
S-Y-L-A-S.
L what?
A-S?
Niski, I watched you in the blue fight and you got one shot. Was that?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you say.
That's why
they got the
pretty
fucking
sure.
pretty one.
Yeah. That's why he got out.
They just fucking.
I mean, Tom did nothing. Jarvin was out of juice.
Yeah.
You were out of juice.
I'm gonna have my I was like, I'm gonna.
You W'd Aatrox and died instantly.
I legit, because the other guy was like this, I'm like, what the fuck? And then, like, 2 shots, I'm like, what the fuck?
You're full health.
Yeah, I was fine.
You're a pocket pick Silas. Oh, we'll keep picking with the Silas 4 ADJ 4 into Jarakan and Trinity Force Edge.
Maybe we should think about Silas as a good pick when they have good ultis to steal. Hey.
Hey!
Victor shit, Aatrox
Hey!
shit, Zyrakan shit.
I mean, Aatrox are the what? Aatrox big wig, looking so cool.
Dear God, do I hope he's on this game.
Oh yeah, it was a mystical guy.
Miscalling.
I'm trying to get bad.
You know,
I'm so fast.
Dennis, yesterday, that fight, Spitfire Ash art, right? The mid fight. And then, Raynor were arguing me, why Niski is not using Eing on the Gragas, his free kill. Then I says, no, Niski is tunnel visualing to somehow Aatrox looking cool, like the big wings, and he won that art. And then he says, there's no way Niski have a E not killing this Gragas. He using for the moving,
Yeah.
Then I say,
Likes running fast.
no, I say, no, I coaching this guy like half a year. I know this guy. He have a E, but he's totally the big cool art, And then we watch the preview. he actually had the E4 time, all the skills up, completely ignore the Gragas, you just going for the H1 sword.
Don't tell Niski, he's not getting tilted.
No, we're just laughing.
No, it's
Good
fine.
times.
It's fine, Niski. Next time, maybe you can open the eyes.
Do you know who I am? I am the best player this game has ever seen. I am strong, fast, agile, fearless. I'm becoming immune to pressure, toxicity. This is not about the size of my muscles. It's all about the size of my will. I am the best player this game has ever seen. Just not yet.
If you want more, head over to Cloud9's YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe. The full episode drops later this week.
Also, just as a side note here,
Yep.
I think Reapered is hands down one of the most fascinating people in esports history.
Oh, yeah.
And C9, can you please make a documentary about his career? I will sit down with you. But he went from being this top laner in the early days of League of Legends, then ended up basically getting kicked off of his team, Azuba Blaze at the time, eventually sort of finding his way through many other League of Legends teams. He was one of the most innovative players of all time, playing top lane for Janair, and then switching his role, and then finally coming and coaching on C9, which I did tell him to go to C9, by the way.
That was you.
Welcome, Jack. Well, you had a bunch of offers.
Illuminati over here.
That's right. manipulating any League of Legends under my ban. But I think that Reapered, he came here and then became fluent in English. Because I knew him before he could speak any English at all. So it's absolutely crazy
wouldn't be able to
to see his level of success now. And I just think he's one of the most fascinating personalities. So that's my little sidebar on how awesome Reapered is. I think he's one of the coolest people in the scene.
Right. He has quite a resume from what you just said.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
That's pretty
crazy.
interesting.
Looks
All
like that. I mean, I guess if you're looking forward to seeing how the team's sort of interacting with each other and joking about, because I followed that conversation. They weren't serious for 1 second, but that was entirely sarcastic. At all, so.
That was a cool bit. It was like being a fly on the wall. Staying on League of Legends, they have a big event this week. It's the Battle of the Atlantic. 3 of North America's best teams take on 3 of Europe's best in Rift rivals. Monty, how will Cloud9 fare against LEC's Fnatic, G2, or Origin? Look at his face.
I mean, I hope they do well. I think it's going to be really hard with how good some of these European teams are right now.
Yeah.
If we looked at the finals of MSI in League of Legends and how hard Liquid got smashed and Liquid was the North American champions, I think C9... Here's the other thing. C9, for whatever reason, always performs at international events and international competition. So there's a lot of factors to consider, but I do think it's going to be really hard.
I think EU definitely won the talent rap battle, though. I'll be honest. There's like a rap
still haven't
battle
seen
between
that
the two.
yet. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I think Captain Flowers got wrecked.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious. I gotta watch it.
You'll find it funny. I think. Yeah, it was funny.
It was a legit rap battle. They were
Oh
going
yeah,
like back and forth?
it was not live per se. It was more of like a promo piece, but it was good. It was actually looked like someone who knew how to write that stuff. Right?
Oh, okay. Thanks. All right. Gotta check that out. Well, guys, if you thought this would be a countdown show without a top play segment, you would be sorely mistaken. In at number 4 is our stream of the crop.
Well, there are a lot of Premier level events this week, so today it's only the best of the best for our stream of the crop. Our first video is from this past weekend's ESL Pro League event in France. Check out Stewie of Team Liquids and his handiwork with a USP. See you later.
One tapped them all.
Oh, he took too many bullets on that last one.
He headshots Team Astralis one by one as they exit the building before finally getting taken out. Stewie and Team Liquid would go on to win this tournament, and I mean, that's clean. You see why.
I mean, I wonder if C9 regrets getting rid of Stewie now that TL might be the best Counter-Strike team in the world, but I'll see your ESL Pro League clip and raise you another. In this Rainbow Six sequence, FaZe Clan's Astro absolutely melts the Red Devil like blow-drying a craft single.
That right there.
Oh my God.
That's a callback to the old Rainbow Six Vegas, the C4 kill. I I love it.
Wow. Very impressive. FaZe Clan would go on to take the match over the Red Devils.
So clean.
I'm sure that play certainly helped them.
During Sunday's Battlegrounds NPL Phase 2 relegation, Kendo of Zenith Esports found himself in a sticky pickle. The entire team had been wiped out and Simplicity's full squad was still alive, and the final circle was closing in on this shack.
For both the remaining Simplicity players, that grows as the equalizer. The level 3 gear.
Wow.
Kendo might have this. He's gonna go for
That's
another
Lord.
flush. Check shooter down. The zone's and Penta's back. Cherry's in a position to strike. They have to do something. Penta's gonna go.
That's mental.
It's a 1v1.
It seems that just seems kind of embarrassing, honestly.
They're scared.
Yeah, why didn't they push him all as 4, I wonder?
Close the zones. There he's on the interior. Here comes Cherry.
Everybody trying to be the
Let's
hero,
do this
right?
thing, Kendo. The door's shut. He's,
Oh God,
no,
this
he's
guy
not.
is so
He's
scared
gonna
of
go.
choking right now.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. He goes on a clutch killing spree, wiping out the entire team for the chicken dinner. That's
Wow,
mental.
that's pretty crazy.
Kendo might have this. He's gonna go for another flush. Check
That was
shooter.
ill. That was ill. All right, guys. And finally, as we mentioned earlier, the Rocket League Season 7 championship had a lot of amazing moments. But bias aside, Cloud9's own Squishy Muffins had some goals that stood out from the rest of the pack. First, let's take a look at this deftly maneuvered goal to force overtime with only 20 seconds left on the clock.
I just can't believe how good some of these Rocket League players are at these mid-air shots and getting multiple taps on the ball.
It reminds me it's like a seal balancing a ball on its nose, you know, as it moves across. That's just crazy, man.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Good, guys. And then FC Barcelona may have Messi, but they were missing him on their Rocket League team because C9 has the Messi of the RLCS. In Lionel S fashion, Squishy buries the goal with 0 angle.
Wow, that's a crazy shot. Holy moly.
How did it get so high? I just don't understand it.
Wow.
I'll never be that good, ever. Guys, well, if you have amazing clips that you want us to feature on next week's stream of The Crop, tweet us the link at Cloud9 with the hashtag #TheNines. Ah, man, those guys are good. Every single one. So, what were you guys' favorite clips?
That last one, because it is actually a spoiler for what happens to you later in the show with the
Thank you,
spin.
Monty.
Watch the spin. The 0 angle spin. That actually happens later in the league. It's great.
I don't know. The PUBG one for me was really sick. That game is not easy. And being able to sort of make that kind of play. And it's just perfect. The circle's closing in. You can make like a 1v4. Like, you can make that play any time. But
Yeah.
the fact that like there was so much pressure there, as a caster, that's the kind of moment that you want to be, you know, calling over.
Right, I agree with you on that. I like clutch moments in elimination scenarios where it's just like 1-on-4 or 1-on-5 and they find a way to clutch it.
And they got the shot of him getting up, and
Yeah.
it just, you know, paid it off really well.
It's arguable that he might have had the advantage though since he was in circle and they weren't, but you know.
Yeah, they did have to approach him. He was in the building.
Yeah.
But, I don't care. Like, with 2 people, you should be able to flank that building
Exactly,
and make it work.
Tons of people. Obviously, I want to when Torment is going to be on the show real soon. He's coming up. We have 9 whole segments. Strap yourselves in.
Oh yeah, you guys are not gonna want to miss that one. That's gonna be funny. That's gonna be a doozy.
Dude,
Sore about it, yo.
Well, if you didn't know, one of Cloud9's best teams is their Rocket League team, actually. The Rocket League team is top tier. And they're usually the favorites going into any match. Earlier today, we sat down with one of Cloud9's pro players, Torment. This is Cloud Connections presented by at&t.
3,
Fresh off of competing in Rocket League Season 7 World Championship, we have Cloud9's Torment, Kyle Storer, here in the studio with us. What's up, man? Welcome. Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Tell us, man, like, you're traveling a bunch lately. Right? Rocket League really starting to get global, and so are you by extension. Do you have time to, like, practice on planes at all, or are you just sort of resting while you're traveling?
If I brought like a Nintendo Switch, I probably could, but I don't know if that'd be good practice.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That's fair enough.
Fair enough.
I mean, you guys were the reigning champs and favourites heading into the RLCS World Championships. How are you feeling, though, going into the last sort of games on Sunday, the last day of games?
We were feeling pretty good, confident, but then we just, we kind of got shut down by Vitality. Kind of happens. I don't think we played on our A game, and they definitely did, and they win the whole thing. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I guess.
All right, well, let's talk about that a little bit, because yes, you guys did lose to Vitality in the semifinals, and they went on to win the entire event, but what was it about them to you that made them such a difficult opponent?
I think all three of them had like one of their best days. You know, you just get that day where they're all clicking. They played incredible defense. Like we didn't really have an answer for it, and I don't think anybody at the event had an answer for it that day because they ended up winning, 11 games and only losing 2 in all 3 of their series. So it was just a dominating performance, honestly.
What was it about their defense that was so strong? What were they doing?
I mean, it's pretty much everything. Like if you could get a play going, they would just get a goal line save, some kind of, incredible like reaction to your shot. But other than that, you just didn't really get anything going. They would just shut you down and score on you first.
Right, they just peaked right at the right moment, it sounds like. All right, so real quick, for any casual esports fans in our audience, what are you specifically good at in Rocket League? What is your position? What is your role for the people who don't know?
I think my role's changed a bit. We kind of changed it, especially last season. But I'd say mostly I'm kind of just like the fill in the spots, kind of rotate back. I'm kind of very rotation-based and positioning-based, and I'm just trying to be in the right spot for my teammates and giving them good passes, and if they make a good pass, you just make a good shot.
Okay, so you serve as like kind of the middleman. You kind of clean up everyone else.
Yeah. Some people call it like the janitor or like the third man. Those are some nicknames.
Is this a normal position in Rocket League that you have? Do most teams operate in this way?
I would say most teams have someone kind of like that. Like Energy has Fireburner, G2 has Rizzo. Some EU teams as well have that. It's just kind of like a default position. Like someone just defaults to it because of their play style.
In the competitive world, are there any like actual positions or names? Have you guys like made any official roles or positions for everything that everyone does, or is it just kind of like up in the air right now?
I mean, some people get classified as like a striker.
Yeah.
Some like as like a playmaker, like a passer, and some get classified as like the third man. So it's kind of like first man, second man, third man, where that second man's making the passes. But it kind of switches. Like there's like rotations and. Sometimes you'll be the first man, sometimes you'll be the third man. It just depends on like the situation.
Interesting.
I mean, you've got your BMW Motorsport shirt on today. You've been out there driving some cars with them. A little bit different, perhaps, to play Rocket League. You would say?
Yeah, I wasn't very good out there on the course. I'm not gonna lie. I think we did like a time track, and I had one of the worst times, so it doesn't really transfer over.
You hate to see it.
Shocking. So you guys had excellent Twitch viewership. You were on top with the championship this past Sunday, and there were tons of Rocket League fans at the venue filling up that stadium. Also broke the world record for the world's longest crowd wave. Why do you think Rocket League is still so popular now that we're several years into the title?
I mean, the skill ceiling just keeps going up. Like, people are finding new ways to score, and it's just really, like, exciting to watch, especially if you're, into the teams as well, and just, like, into the esports scene. And it's also just really easy to watch if you aren't. Like, it just attracts, just, like, attractive to, like, most of the, audience and a lot of fans.
I'm curious what your take on, because this has been an extremely successful event for Rocket League, and now Epic has come in, purchased Psyonix, the developer that runs Rocket League. How do you feel about Epic's purchase, and do you think this means good things for the future of Rocket League?
I think it's definitely a good thing. I think, the financial backing of Epic will help with, more funding for esports as well as, just the game itself. So I think, if anything, it'll just help it grow more.
I think it's a good thing, too. They certainly have shown that they're willing to put some money in. And also, our former boss, Nate Nanzer, is now running competitive at Epic. We can tell you he's a good guy to have in charge.
He's going to make some things happen, for sure. Now, you've been traveling a lot. You just got here from, Palm Springs just now. And I know you're traveling to Spain to compete in DreamHack, Valencia's pro circuit pretty soon. So what are you looking forward to the most about that event and competing there?
I'm mostly looking forward to just the event itself and, possibly getting another DreamHack title. So far we have 2, so looking for that third, kind of be a good way to bounce back from, not winning Worlds. So that's definitely our
trying to get the trifecta.
Yeah, third DreamHack win.
I like it. All right, do you get to do any tourist events when you're out doing your thing?
A lot of times not. You have to stay for like extra time and like stay after the event's over, because usually you're pretty busy with like media stuff and then obviously playing, but sometimes.
Don't get to go eat any food or anything?
Yeah, I mean, eating, I guess, yeah. We do some stuff. It's nothing crazy, though.
I hear you. Always working hard. Yep.
All right, so we also crowdsourced some questions from your fans on Twitter. And Kid Goose asks, what is it like playing with 2 mechanical gods like Gimmick and Squishy? Does it make your job easier playing with your very good teammates, or does it add pressure to do your job exceptionally well?
I'd say it's easier with them. They're easy to rely on, and I hope I'm easy to rely on. I'm not sure what they think.
If you're cleaning up their messes.
Yeah, I'm the janitor. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I think especially because we played together for a while. Like Gimmick is really confusing. Like a lot of people, find his play style hard to understand. But that's the people that he's against, so that's a good thing, I guess. But yeah, it's easy and hard at the same time. But I think after like how much time we play together, it's like a good thing.
Well, I mean, you guys obviously have exceptional synergy already, so I can't imagine it's too terribly hard. We have another fan question from E.J. Burrell, who writes, what are you going to improve in the future to be world champs once again? Obviously, you had very high expectations coming into this event, and even though you lost in the semifinals to the eventual winner, I think you guys were coming in gunning for that title. So what's going to bring you back to the top?
I'm not sure. Like I feel like we just have the ability. We just have to show up on the day. Like it really just comes down to that. A lot of people say that in Rock League. It's really just who shows up. I think that was Vitality, last weekend. But yeah, I think we just need to be a little more consistent because we had a pretty bad day that day, even though we ended up facing Vitality, who played really well. At the same time, we just didn't show up.
Yeah, that's the nature of the beast. Sometimes it really is just how you turn up on the day, and just how you're feeling and how your mental game is. Kyle, thanks very much for sitting down and chatting with us, man. Much appreciated. Make sure you follow him, by the way, over on Twitter, @Torment. Kyle will be back in just a bit for One and Done, where we will be bringing esports to real life. We'll be driving turbocharged cars to knock a proportionally large ball into goal. Stick around to find out who wins.
Oh man, Torment's a cool guy. Such a cool guy.
Real laid back as well.
Real laid.
He just rolls in, he's like, what's
up, man?
What's up, man?
So he's been busy lately.
Yeah, he's been busy.
And guys, if you haven't watched any Rocket League, you should give it a chance. It's fun and easy to watch. And of course, follow Cloud9's team. They're amazing and likable and the perfect team to get the back of if you want to dip your toes in the Rocket.
And if you don't want to bandwagon as well.
Yeah, you don't want to hop on the bandwagon. But I mean, if you're going to bandwagon a team, bandwagon a good team. One that's winning consistently. But guys, next up at number 2, it's time for Cloud coverage. Out to Cloud9's WoW team, the World of Warcraft Arena team. They secured a World Championship Summer Cup 2. They took place this last weekend, and Cloud9 made it all the way to the grand finals and busted out their broomsticks as they swept the boys 4-0. So big congrats to our WoW team. Keep it up.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, I sort of every now and then watch WoW Arena. I do enjoy like MMO-based PvP.
Yeah.
These guys did a fantastic job. A mate of mine, Rich Campbell, obviously was commentator in that scene for a while. So he's always got good things to say about it. Yeah, that's where I kind of get my info from. So another big win for another big C9 team.
Indeed, indeed. Now, let's take a look at what's coming up this week. As we mentioned before, be sure to check out the C9 Rocket League team bounce back at DreamHack Valencia. Then in Rainbow Six, our squad will be facing Trippy in the Korean Pro League tomorrow while competing at the Korea Cup monthly on Friday. And the C9 Apex Legends team continues dropping into Kings Canyon in Facet's Pro Series. Like we talked about earlier, League of Legends Rift Rivals will take place on the 27th through the 29th. You don't want to miss that. And we got Don Fleury and Colento continuing their Hearthstone Grandmasters journey. In Overwatch Contenders, the British Hurricane take on Clockwork Vendetta. And in Overwatch League play, the London Spitfire have a tough week as they take on the LA Valiant and the San Francisco Shock. Uber, the Spitfire are on the outside looking into the Stage 3 playoffs, but what must they do to defeat these very tough teams like San Francisco?
Well, yeah, also the Los Angeles Valiant just beat the Vancouver Titans ahead of the Valiant of the season.
Yeah, can the Valiant come back and put it to the Spitfire, though? That's going to be a big test, I think.
Yeah, look, I think the London Spitfire are definitely looking much better. I would have liked to have seen them take that match against NYXL. It's going to be a rough week for them. I think it needs to be at least a 1-1 here, ideally a 2-0 if they really want to lock up those players, because a lot of teams are squeezing their games into the first 4 weeks of this stage because not everybody, only half the league or so, is going to be at Atlanta in the homestand.
Right.
So a lot of teams are getting a lot of their games crammed in. This is a tough week to prepare for if you're London.
Yeah, less than half the league will be at the Atlanta homestand, 8 teams. So I think this one is going to be really interesting, though, because we can say, oh, wow, look at how well the Shock and the Valiants are doing, and that's true. But at the same time, for London, they came back and they were this close to beating the NYXL, who we think is probably the third best team in the league right now. So while we see the Valiant trending up and maybe the Shock trending down just a little bit, I also think we see the Spitfire trending up at the same time. So I think both of those matches are going to be amazing. I think those are going to be great games.
So the Valiant for real? I have to ask you guys. I wasn't there on Sunday. But
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. By all accounts, the Valiant, many teams and players are saying that they are doing very well in scrims. Obviously, scrim bucks are one thing, but they're also putting it out there on stage, and they stopped the Titans win streak.
We knew that Custer was smart. He was benched because he was too smart already, but now they're actually using that intelligence to help them win games instead of as an excuse for him not to be on the roster. So
okay, so I wonder how the Spitfire beat them. Like, what's the definitive thing the Spitfire have to do? But we're going to find out. And finally, it's time for one for the road. This is a good one. We had Torment stick around to see if he had the same skills off the digital pitch. And
real quick, by the way, Dr. Disrespect has been unbanned.
Something to talk about next time, for sure.
Breaking news.
Really?
But
that is happening right now.
Awesome. Breaking news.
Good for him.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
All right, calm down. I know you're Australian. We don't have to go full Mad Max, do we? Also, Thunderdome, one of my favorite landing spots in Apex Legends.
Yes.
But in this edition of One for the Road, we actually have Cloud9's Torment here, who is going to be playing against Malik, Esports host, in a real-life version of Rocket League, presented to you, of course, by Hot Wheels. The Hot Wheels version controlled via phone. So, as we can see, Torment has got the Cloud9 skin. Malik, how do you like your chances right now against a professional Rocket League player?
I've been studying circumference of the ball, calculating velocities, and I've been driving a lot of cars. If you've been watching commercials, you know that. So I think our chances are high.
All right.
I mean, I got my BMW. Absolutely destroy your Toyota.
Say anything about? Okay. All right. All right. Let's do it.
The car wars of esports have begun. I love it. I love it. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. I will be casting this with Uber. Uber will also be playing referee
I'll be
on that side of the arena. The first to 3 goals will win this match. Okay. All right, gentlemen, are we ready to go?
Sure you want to do this with your career, man? This is the career path you choose.
I'm ready.
All right.
This is the peak of my career, actually.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go on in and do this, man. I wish you the best of luck, my friend.
You too.
It's going to be brutal.
Yep.
All right. Here we go.
Malik is in the orange corner. Torment in the blue corner.
Oh, he's out the gates early.
Wow.
Yeah, he's coming out with a strong shot already. Malik trying to take it out of the corner. Backwards.
No.
Driving backwards is Malik's special move. As it's going into the goal. It's all a ruse.
Malik needs to get on that defense, fam.
Try to tap it in.
The nudge! No! He's got there it is.
Wait,
I think we played that
right there.
It crossed the threshold, yeah.
Yo, I think my controls are inverted or something.
Yeah.
Wrong way. Get him in the right corners. Get him in the right corners.
We got it.
Hey, wait.
Colorblind.
No. Uber's trying to get that advantage there.
Uber giving an advantage. All right, ready?
All right, go.
It's all right. I'm here to enforce the fairness.
Oh.
Straight in. Over the top of Torment's car.
I think aggression. That works.
I got absolutely destroyed right there.
All right.
Uber is preventing the celebration. What are you, the NFL? Come on.
Listen, mate.
Where are my cheerleaders at?
I spent the start of this segment taking a knee, and that was painful enough. We're here to play some Rocky.
All right.
Let's go.
Here we go. Back in it.
Oh, wait
Boost.
a minute.
Oh, straight in again.
My controls are inverted now. I don't know why I went over there.
Oh, man.
Malik,
I went away.
Game
Back against the wall.
Don't choke, Malik. Don't choke.
Please
right.
choke.
If Malik scores, the match is over. First to 3. Come on, Torment. Bring it back.
Oh, did it again.
I'm not LW Boo. I will not choke.
All right.
Go.
All right.
Backwards.
Ball's in the corner. He's stuck. He's got up the ramp.
Come on, dude.
Try to push it in.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
I got it went in.
Wow,
It's
okay.
real.
All right.
Got a
This is
close
coming
one.
down to the wire.
It's coming down to the wire. This is for all the marbles.
You should check Twitter. See what's going on.
Yeah.
All right.
Tab out here.
All right, you guys ready? Next goal is going to win. This is it. Who is going to be the Rocket League Hot Wheels champion?
No.
Torment.
It's on
He's
the
going in.
threshold.
He's going. No, he crossed my lane.
The ball just automatically rolls there. Come on.
I think the surface is a little tilted or something.
Yeah, you know, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, that is it.
That was 3.
That was 3, but that was a very close match. So Torment is going to be our winner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You did take home the inaugural The Nines Rocket League Hot Wheels Championship, the rarest of all achievements. We've got a replay here of your winning goal. Arguably, I think it was just the spin of the ball. I think you put the right amount of spin on it.
I threw the curveball. And
That's right.
it to you, man.
It
That was
spun straight, but very well played by both of you. So where does this rank Kyle, on your championship tier list right now?
This is my greatest achievement.
Okay, this is
Top of the
number one.
resume, right
All
there.
right, what's number 2?
I guess RLCS season 6, but this goes above.
This goes way above
Yes,
that. Well,
yes.
congratulations on our first championship here at the Nines.
I got you.
And thank you very much to Torment, Kyle. It's been great having you here. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Torment and check out his videos on YouTube. And good luck at DreamHack in Valencia, man.
Thank you.
I have to agree with Izzy the 15th here that we're going to see that in the top plays for next week for sure.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, like still salty about it. That was a squishy muffin style goal. That's why I said it was, it was a little bit of a premonition there. The back spin from the 0 angle. He's still mad. What a competitor. I appreciate
to get the salt out of my mouth, out of my taste buds.
I appreciate the competitive fire, but I agree. That's definitely going to be on our top plays of next week. We'll play it back to back with that squishy muffin.
I need to get one of those. So somebody, Epic, Sonics, whoever, give me one of those.
Yeah, you control them with your mobile phone. Anyone can kind of play. That was fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Listen, I wasn't trying to stifle their celebrations as well. When we did the pre-tape, I forgot to turn people's cars over, so like people were spending their whole half the time upside down while I'm like zoning out. But I am the NFL of that game.
Yeah. Actually, when people
curating competition.
When people start teabagging on the Overwatch League stage, sometimes Uber just walks up and unplugs their mics.
Oh no! No, I love that. I do it in the caster booth while they're doing it. People look over and just see my head go up and down.
Yeah. No, I'm pro tactical crouching.
I am definitely pro tactical crouching as well.
Keep it coming.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. That's it for our show this week. Make sure to tune in next week at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for another episode of The Nines. Let us know what you think of the show and what you'd like to see using hashtag The Nines. If you missed any of it, be sure to check out C9's YouTube channel to pick up all the segments that you have not seen yet. We should have Jack on next week to talk about some pretty big announcements, actually. I'm not gonna spoil them yet, but you do want to tune in next week. Remember to follow C9 on Twitch, YouTube, and all social media platforms so you never miss a thing. I'm Monte Cristo. This is Uber. This has been Malik. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.